visualizing your rich life is very important because it gives you the drive to ensure you work towards your goals. Comment down below if you're working on your goals and you have visualized your rich life. The first thing you need to ask yourself is, what is your definition of your rich life? Comment below. For me, I would say different people have different definitions. The first one would be, I have a lot of money. I feel like I am living my rich life. This money could be yours. This money could be borrowed. How many times when you have borrowed a loan or you have just been paid your income or your salary, you feel like you're rich? Before you allocate the money, you're feeling like, oh, I feel like I'm rich. This is something I know most of us have experienced. So it is very important to have in mind that you're not rich. You just have money. And if this money, the only time you feel like you're rich by virtue of having money, it's when you don't have to spend it. And even if you spend it, it's not running out. Okay? Number 2, someone may say richness is having luxury, the things that you have always desired and you have not been able to get them, and all those things. Well, that is up to someone to decide whether that is what matters to them. The next thing that people could consider as rich life is living the life that you have always desired. Maybe you wanted to live at a certain place, you wanted to live in a certain house, you wanted to drive a certain car, and you're doing all that. Maybe to one person, whether you're doing it on debt, that is your rich life. Whether you're doing it now having attained financial freedom, now that is rich life. For me, if you look at the two, your rich life would only be reasonable if what you are, where you are, and the life you're living now is debt free. I think that is when you can say that is a kind of rich life. Another person would look at rich life by having a healthy life. Your body is okay, your family is okay, and everybody is okay. And you're just running your days as normal. There's nothing that interferes with your day. That is their rich life. Another person may look at rich life as having enough time for your family. Maybe you're working less hours and you're able to spend so much time with your family. Trust me, your relationships are your wealth. So other people may look at it from that perspective. Another person may look at it from a financial independence perspective, that I don't have to work to make money to be able to use the money that I make. Number 1, I don't have to work to survive on that money. Another person may look at it from the perspective of, I don't have to work to make money. Hey, that is me, because if I get to that point, I will be so happy, because I want to work, but I want to be sure also that I am able to meet all my expenses. The other person may feel like, if I have a plan B of another source of income, why should I stress? If maybe this job does not work out, I can always go and do my side hustle or my plan B source of income, maybe my investments and all that. So different people look at rich life differently. Comment down below with how you look at rich life. So for me, these are some of the parameters that you can use to assess whether you're living your rich life. Number 1, have you attained your financial freedom? You do not have to hustle, to stress, to think about money. You just need to think about making more, not how to spend. Of course, that does not mean you stop coming up with your budget. The budget helps you now to make more, because let me tell you, no matter how much you make, you will not feel like you're making enough. How many times do you make money and you realize you have made an extra, but you don't feel like you have achieved, Because every time you want to go to the next one, unless you're not ambitious, of course. Some people may not be ambitious. Yeah, so it's really important to work towards your financial freedom. And when you attain it, then some people may consider it as being rich. And now you're living your rich life. The next thing is you are able to buy something when you're ready. If money is not a problem, then you can buy anything that you want, as long as you had planned for it, or as long as you're working towards it and you can afford it without strain. The next one is being debt free. How many people are debt free right now? And they are making money, they have investments giving them money. Perhaps you can struggle at the beginning, maybe taking loans, borrowing from friends, grants and all that, to be able to cater for the investment plans. But once you settle your investment, then you should be debt free to consider yourself rich. The next way of ascertaining whether you're living your rich life is being able to have a plan B from your primary source of income. That is also a big achievement. You don't have to wait to be a millionaire or to make so much money for you to see that you are progressing. The day that you have an alternate source of income which is sufficient to cater for your needs and maybe extras and investments, then you can consider yourself rich. The next parameter is you don't have to work to earn. Of course, this comes together with having a second source of income, and this particular one specifically, you don't have to be physically involved. Your money can work for you. So it's also a very key one. The moment you hit those two, you're on the right track. Comment down below if you have attained those two. The next thing is being financially honest with yourself, not other people, with yourself. There comes a time that you live in denial, and most people who live in denial are the people who don't have budgets. Do you know that? Did you know that you're in denial because you don't want to see how much you have, because you know your spending exceeds your income? Comment down below if you have ever been a culprit. At times you ask yourself, do I really need to come up with a budget just because you know you don't have enough money based on your expenses? This is a very common problem, because it's a problem. The moment you find yourself in this situation, you have a problem. So the moment you're honest with yourself and your financial status, if you cannot afford something, you accept. If you cannot do something else at that point in time, you accept. It doesn't mean you cannot do it later. But the moment you will be honest with yourself, you will even be able to work on it. Because you will find most people are in denial. Most people, if you know somebody, don't name them, but comment down below. I know many people. Personally, I know very many people who are in denial with their financial circumstances. The next thing is, if you find travel being part of your life, you don't have to save to travel. You don't have to think that travel is luxury. Travel, you need money. You need to plan and do a lot of planning to travel. Then I think you might. Remember, this whole scenario is not a communal thing. It is a personal thing, depending on what everyone understands or appreciates. Someone may feel, if now I can travel without stressing, without saving, without thinking too much about the travel, that someone would feel they have made it in life. They would feel they are living their rich life. The next thing is, some people feel they have achieved their rich life when they have time for their loved ones. Everyone is working very, very hard. So because of that, they forget to create time for their loved one. Question: when did you last visit your mother or your father or your siblings? When did you actually last meet your siblings? You just have quality time. You sit down, you have a quiet meal, you just drink maybe your sodas, your soft drinks, whatever you enjoy after your soft drinks, just chilling with your family, your loved ones, your friends. When did you last hang out with your friends? Or every day you're just like, I am running from one home to this, to this, to this, to the other. Life is just moving or driving you like a roller coaster. When? Comment down below whether you have ever felt like you're losing it. We all have, maybe perhaps have had such a time, and when you recover that, you feel like you're actually making progress. To be honest, for me, this is also something that would make me feel rich, because family is very important and I value family. So if I have more time for my family, I would be more happier. The other time someone may feel rich and actually be indeed rich is having knowledge of money. What is your relationship with money? Does it come and go? Does it show up and disappear as soon as it has showed up? Do you know where your money goes? By the way, have you ever asked yourself where your money goes? Have you ever listed down how your money adds value to your life? Or do you have a paycheck to paycheck life and this life is just for your basics? You do not even have an extra shilling saved somewhere. I think sometimes you find yourself living paycheck to paycheck. I have had a situation like that. And then other times you start a saving fund, and what happens? You save. Their bank accounts, you can only access funds after 3 months. So you find someone has saved for 3 months. By the time the third month is clocking like this, they are already there to withdraw the money. Have you ever found yourself in that situation? I have. Honestly, I have. The next thing is becoming a working investor. Are you investing as you work? Because if you want to become an investor, the only way that you can start the process, the only way that you can start is you need to have another source of income, because this investment will not will not support you for the time being. Have you ever thought about it? You're working on investment which might grow maybe after 5 years, maybe after 10 years. So between now and that 10 years, what are you doing about it to grow your investment? Comment down below. The next thing is realizing what to afford. Are you trying to compete with your friends, with your colleagues and neighbors in what you're buying? Just sometimes buying things that you're not using just because you think you need it because your neighbor got it or your best friend got it. If you can't afford it, just be patient. Your turn is coming. We all have our opportunities. Let us not be confused or mistaken by the fact that we feel, oh, my friend has just bought it, so I also need to buy it. You don't have to. You don't have to. If your friend has it, then that is their time. When it's your time, then you will afford and buy. So don't start buying things that you cannot afford and you don't need. Sometimes you may buy something that you cannot afford, but it's a need. But if it's a want, don't stress yourself. The next thing is think before you purchase. How many times do you buy something, then when you go home you ask yourself, by the way, why did I even buy this? I don't need it. I don't need this gadget. I don't need this outfit. I have enough accessories. I have I don't know what. But you had bought. Not thinking. Actually, I want you to take a challenge on yourself and ask yourself, how am I surviving without it? And like for me, how like for clothes work for me, by the time I'm picking something, I need to figure out how it will match. So I don't just go picking because maybe it's cheaper, it's available, it's cute and everything. By the time I'm paying for it, I am thinking, what will it match with? Yeah. The next thing, which we have actually said before, by the way, if you have not watched our budgeting videos, you're missing. And maybe that is perhaps why you're still thinking you're living your rich life when you're broke. You will need to check them out and see if they can add value to your already working budget. I'm not saying your budget is not working, but I'm sure you can do with an extra opinion, an extra hand. So what we said is that you need 24 hours to think whether you actually need that thing that you're buying. If it is maybe a shoe, a gadget maybe for the house, just think through. Within 24 hours you will know whether you actually need it. If you don't need it within 24 hours, you will still know that you don't need it. The next thing is having an operational business. Most people aspire to start their own side hustles, their businesses and all that, but they're not doing anything about it. First, you need to have a plan to be able to put it into action, and then you need to check through whether your plan is actually working. Don't just do business because your friend, your colleague, or someone else you know is doing the same business and has succeeded. Maybe it's not your cup of tea. Yeah, so it is very important to think as you and to have your own rich life definition and your own rich life journey. Not our life, but your own. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new, kindly consider subscribing and hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time we upload a new video. If you're returning, thank you so much for always coming back. If this video has added value to your life, comment below and let us know your take. See you on our next one. Bye.